So tonight on NXT, we're going to determine the new NXT champion. Of course, the NXT championship is vacant after Karrion Kross got injured at NXT TakeOver 30 when he won the championship and had to vacate it on the following episode of NXT. Of course, tonight as well is the second NXT Super Tuesday event after NXT Super Tuesday last week. Last week's show was main evented with a fatal 4-way 60-minute Iron Man match to determine the new NXT champion. We had Tommaso Ciampa go up against Johnny Gargano, Finn Balor, and Adam Cole. Now, last week's show, 60 minutes, you invested all this time into this match, 60 minutes, and at one point the scores were 1-1, 1-1. Everyone had one decision to them. Then Finn Balor gets the double foot stomp, gets 2-1, and then Adam Cole in the last minute gets also a pinfall decision, and then it's Adam Cole and Finn Balor on two victories apiece. And then what happens? The 60 minutes are up, it comes to a draw. William Regal comes out and says, okay, next week we're going to have Adam Cole versus Finn Balor. The winner is going to become the NXT champion for real. And look, I understand why they did it. I totally understand WWE and NXT's rationale behind this. I understand that this is episodic television programming, right? And NXT for the second week in a row isn't on its usual date that it airs. It's on the Tuesday. It's not on a Wednesday. And it's unopposed, so it can do a good number. It can do a good rating. I understand why they did it. It makes a lot of sense. But I don't know, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. I felt let down coming out of it because you've invested 60 minutes into this match, watching as a fan at home. You've invested 60 minutes into this match and you thought, we're going to see a new NXT champion tonight, we're going to see it. And WWE promised that coming into the show. Next week, you're going to see a new NXT champion. We're finally going to find out who's the next NXT champion, who's going to be the NXT champion. And they didn't deliver. They didn't follow through with what they advertised. You went into that show thinking, not only am I going to see a classic match, but I'm going to see a new NXT champion. And you didn't get it. You got a draw. You got a screwy finish. And to me, it just felt like a letdown. It felt like a cop-out of, well, we're on Tuesday for 2 weeks in a row, so we've got to stretch this out. And it just felt like a bit to me that they were lying to their audience. You invested so much time into the match. And like I said, yeah, I had a bad taste in my mouth coming out of it. And it wasn't a 60-minute Iron match. It was really a 45-minute Iron match because of the ad breaks. And if I'm going to be really honest, this might rub some people the wrong way and people might disagree with me here. But is it bad that I thought the Impact Iron Man match between Deonna Purrazzo and Jordynne Grace on Impact Emergence was better? Because I think it was. I do think it was. I like Iron Man matches, and the 60-minute Iron Man match is a difficult one to do because it's a lot of time. It's hard to keep the audience invested, and it can feel like it drags on in certain places. And I thought the match last week was good, but I did think in certain places it did drag on. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't a 4-star match or something like that because I did think it was very good last week. But the finish just to me, like I said, I just felt a bit let down coming out of it. And it was just kind of those ones where you've lied to your audience. That's exactly what it is. You have lied to your audience. We're going to have a new NXT champion next week. You better tune in because if you miss it, you're going to miss a crowning of a new NXT champion. If you didn't tune in last week, you didn't miss anything because yes, we have the match set up for this week and the NXT title match set up for this week, but to me, you kind of have lost a bit of credibility with the audience because if I'm a casual fan, anything that NXT advertises now of this week, we're going to have a new champion, or next week, we're going to have this match, next week, we're going to have this match. As a fan, do you really believe that you're going to see it? Because last week we were assured we're going to have a new NXT champion and we didn't see it. And it felt screwy. It just felt like a screwy finish. And I don't know, it just wasn't for me. And the ratings last week for NXT did really, really well. They actually went up. They were over 800,000 and they're creeping closer and closer to that 900,000, a million viewership, live viewership every week. Is obviously higher with DVR and all of that stuff. And maybe they tuned in because of the main event. I think a lot of people tuned in because of the main event, right? NXT Championship match. You were guaranteed an NXT champion. They didn't get it. But also you had the Iron Man match. That's why everyone tuned in to NXT last week, and the ratings did very well. And I wonder if they'll do better or worse this week. Maybe they will do better because we know for sure we're going to see an NXT champion this week, or you like to think so. Can you imagine if we got another screwy finish? God, social media would explode. And obviously it was unopposed as well. There was no AEW Dynamite because Dynamite was on Wednesday. It made a lot of people have the argument and the discussion, rightfully so, NXT should move to Tuesday. NXT should move to Tuesday. They've done better unopposed every time that they haven't had to go up against AEW, because AEW a couple of weeks ago was on Saturday and on Thursday. So NXT and AEW actually haven't gone head-to-head for a few weeks now. And the ratings for both shows have been improving, unless it was AEW on the Saturday was slightly different. But NXT's ratings have been improving, so rightfully so. It led a lot of people to say NXT needs to move to Tuesday. It's the best for both WWE and AEW, because when NXT's been running unopposed, the ratings have gone up. When AEW's been in their regular time slot and running unopposed, the ratings have gone up as well. AEW this past week did over 900,000 live viewers, and NXT ratings have continued to go up as well. So a lot of people are saying, well, the numbers are there. It makes logical sense. What, are they going to do it? The answer is no. The answer is they won't. NXT will continue, regardless of the Super Tuesday stuff, regardless of whatever. If they're preempted by the NHL, the NBA, the NFL, whoever, whatever, NXT is going to stay on Wednesdays. Now, the reason why NXT is going to stay on Wednesdays is because NXT was moved to the USA Network on Wednesdays to 2 hours to take viewers away from AEW Dynamite. That was the reason that it were put there. Support for Wrestle News 365 is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Now, Manscaped, for all of my UK fans out there, Manscaped just launched in the UK. Over here in the United Kingdom, we have gone for years and years and years without using the right tools for the job. But now you can be one of the first men in England to experience their life-changing product. But it's not just limited to all of the great fans over here in the UK. This offer goes worldwide, so all of my friends over in America and around the world that are listening to this offer still does apply for you. You can still use our code. But I've got to tell you a quick story first. Now, there have been so many times, right? I'm a guy. You gotta groom down there, fellas, right? That's the most important thing. You gotta keep yourself trimmed. You gotta keep yourself proper. And a lot of the time, I've been guilty of this, of using the wrong tools for the job. I've had incidences, I'm not afraid to say it, where things have been nicked, snagged, or in fact cut down there because I wasn't being careful enough and using the right equipment. Now that just shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. You don't want to be worrying about cutting yourself down there. Do you know how painful that is? I can tell you, it hurts quite a lot. And I wish and hope to God it never happens to me again, and it won't happen to me ever again because I'm using Manscaped products. That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team has perfected the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created. Big statement, but it's absolutely true. They have just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0 in the UK. It's also available around the world as well. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. So those cuts and snags that I was telling you about before are a thing of the past. And let me tell you, when I tell you this is premium, I mean premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes so you can get a longer, perfect shave. And not only that, you don't want to be cutting yourself and trimming yourself all over the bathroom, getting hair all over the place. That's just disgusting. The lawnmower has a waterproof technology that allows you to groom in the shower, so no more mess. And one of the coolest features, one of my favorite features about the lawnmower is the LED light which illuminates grooming areas for a closer and more precise trimming experience. So you can shave longer, you can shave more precisely, and you can shave in the shower. What more did I need to tell you? They've also upgraded to a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology, and let's not forget about the charging stand. You can show off your mower loud and proud because this intelligently designed stand is a convenient charging dock powered by USB. So, if you are listening to me speak right now, I want you to experience it firsthand for yourself. Let's get that bush to tush clean, and you can get 20% off and free shipping. Yeah, you heard me right there. 20% off and free shipping All you have to do is use the code 365wrestle at manscaped.com. Make your testes their besties. That's 20% off and free shipping. Not only are you getting 20% off, you're getting free shipping as well with the code 365wrestle at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code 365wrestle. Your balls will thank you. Multiple reports have said this, and I know some people, some WWE stans and NXT stans will say, well, you do know that NXT was on Wednesdays way before AEW Dynamite was even a thing. Yes, I know, but it was a 1 hour show on demand on the WWE network. It wasn't live, it wasn't on 2 hours, and it wasn't on a cable network opposite AEW. It just wasn't. It absolutely was. NXT has been the epicenter of counter programming against AEW, whether it's the Great American Bash, whether it's 2 hours, whether it's whatever. NXT has been counter programming AEW. That's just the fact. Its sole purpose on USA Network was to take viewers away from AEW. It was meant to crush AEW, it was meant to make AEW fade away, and it was meant to make AEW fail. That's the reason that NXT moved to USA Network and expanded to 2 hours. Now, if you ask WWE, if you ask Triple H and Shawn Michaels, they'll vehemently deny this. Absolutely no way. No way was NXT put on the USA Network and moved to 2 hours to take viewers away from AEW, but it was. It absolutely was. That was Vince McMahon's attitude towards it. You remember in 2019, in those months of June and July, WWE were terrified of AEW because they didn't know what AEW really was at that point. They knew they had a lot of money, and Tony Khan has a lot of money, and they started dealing out those 5-year contracts willy-nilly to everyone, right? 5-year contract, pay rise. They were even willing to pay people like Brody Lee to stay at home. We'll give you a new contract, but we have nothing for you, but we'll pay you to stay at home. We don't want you to go to AEW that badly. We'll pay you to sit on your couch. That's how afraid WWE were of AEW, and in certain respects still are. I think they have a greater reality of what AEW are right now. And Vince McMahon, the sole purpose of having NXT on the Wednesday was to take viewers away from AEW. Now, given the recent events, you would think, look at NXT's recent ratings unopposed of AEW. They do better ratings when AEW isn't on. They've done better ratings on Tuesday. It would make sense for NXT to move to Tuesdays, but it's not going to happen. Vince McMahon is never, ever going to run away from a fight. He hates that NXT loses to AEW most weeks, and even in the weeks that they do bring in more viewers and have a higher rating than AEW, the rating that really matters, the 18 to 49 demographic, which advertisers and TV networks really care about, they lose every single week, like 2-1, 3-1. Sometimes AEW Dynamite does a better 18 to 49 demographic than Raw. So Vince McMahon hates that. He hates losing. He hates losing to a company that's only been around a year. And he isn't going to run away from a fight. He would continue to lose on Wednesday every single week as long as it took some viewers away from AEW, which it does. So it serves the purpose that he wants. I think he thought and hoped that NXT would destroy AEW Dynamite in the ratings, and that's just not the case. Just not the case. I think if you were to ask anyone else in the WWE, and if you were to ask USA Network, do you want NXT to move to Tuesday? They would say yes. More viewers for us, please. Yes, move them to Tuesday. If you ask Triple H, would you rather have NXT move to Tuesday? He would say yes, please. More viewers. But Vince McMahon doesn't want that. He wants to beat AEW, and even if he doesn't beat AEW, he wants to be a drain on them. And that's why NXT is in its Wednesday time slot. So these Super Tuesday episodes have been great. They've drawn good viewers and better viewers than they probably usually would have if they were running against AEW, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So in terms of this NXT Championship match tonight, who do I think is going to win? Well, I hope we do see a winner after last week's show, but I think we will. I think Finn Balor is probably going to become the NXT champion here. To me, that just makes the most sense. I think Adam Cole is moving to Raw and SmackDown very, very soon. I think his days in NXT are numbered. We know that WWE is planning a draft very soon. I don't know when, where, what the plans are for that. There were rumors that it was going to be in the summer and now we're coming into the fall. I think you got to think. Remember last year, the WWE draft was in October last year. We're only a month away from that, so that first draft was nearly a year ago now. God, doesn't time fly quickly? But that draft is coming soon, so perhaps we're going to see that draft around October time again. But this time there will be a difference. Obviously, last time the draft was to draft superstars to Raw and SmackDown, but this time NXT will be involved in the draft. So we're going to have NXT stars go to Raw and SmackDown, and we're also going to have Raw and SmackDown stars come to NXT, which is desperately what NXT needs, and it's desperately, quite frankly, what Raw and SmackDown needs. So I think that Adam Cole is going to go to Raw or SmackDown. I don't know which one, but I think he will go to the main roster very soon. I'm not sure if that applies to the whole Undisputed Era, because I think actually Adam Cole will go to Raw and SmackDown, but I think the rest of the Undisputed Era will remain in NXT, and I think they will split up. Those seeds have been planted, and those seeds have been sort of teased in recent weeks on NXT, so I think that's the direction that they're going in. So I think that given Adam Cole is likely to be going to Raw and SmackDown, I don't think he wins tonight. I don't think he wins the NXT Championship against Finn Balor. And realistically, if he did stay in NXT, what's left for him to do? He's won everything. He's the longest reigning NXT champion in history. He was the first ever North American champion. He's won the Tag Team Championship, the Dusty Classic. There literally is nothing for him to do. He was in the first ever NXT War Games match. At this point, what can he do? What can he do? Nothing. He's done everything. So he beat Pat McAfee as well. He had the celebrity match, the sports celebrity match. There's nothing left. There's nothing left for Adam Cole to achieve or do in NXT. Now, unless this feud with Pat McAfee continues in NXT, which I could see happening, maybe it does, but Pat McAfee, as far as he's discussing, doesn't have anything left on a WWE contract. He doesn't have any more matches scheduled. Maybe they decide to do another one or a rematch. It was a fantastic match at NXT TakeOver 30, so maybe there is something left for there to do, but Adam Cole beat Pat McAfee there. Kind of the storyline's a bit dead at this point. So unless that feud continues with Pat McAfee and Pat McAfee costs him the match tonight, which is a possibility, I think Adam Cole needs a change of scenery. Now, would going to Raw or SmackDown be the best move for him? Creatively, maybe not. There's no doubt if he goes to Raw or SmackDown, he's going to get a different entrance theme like Keith Lee. Maybe they'll change his ring attire and they'll change everything about him. So maybe it's not the best thing for him, but I don't think he's going to win tonight. Now, you move over to Finn Balor and his run in NXT so far. His return to NXT last year was very exciting. I think a lot of people thought this is great. He had his best moments in WWE as part of NXT. At one point was the longest reigning NXT champion in history. Really was the centerpiece and focal point of that brand as they really grew in sort of 2015, 2016. Finn Balor was a huge part of that. So I think a lot of people thought this is a guy that's synonymous with NXT. Him returning, it's great to see. And then he turned heel. And that was great because people thought not only is Finn Balor returning, we're going to see a different Finn Balor. We're going to see the Prince Devitt version of Finn Balor that we saw in New Japan. This is going to be great. And if I'm being brutally honest here, I think his run in NXT so far has been very disappointing. Now, he's had matches against Matt Riddle, Ilya Dragunov, Johnny Gargano. He was meant to feud with Walter, and those matches and that little feud he had with Walter was great. His match against Damian Priest at NXT TakeOver in Your House was great. There's nothing wrong with Finn Balor's matches, but does Finn Balor feel as big and important now as he did when he returned to NXT? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I just think he's kind of got lost in the shuffle, which has been strange for someone the caliber of Finn Balor, but he just got lost in the shuffle. He doesn't feel as big, and he doesn't feel as big a superstar. And the important thing from Triple H and Vince McMahon and NXT's point of view is he's on the same money that he was on when he was on Raw and SmackDown on the main roster. So he's a main roster star making main roster money on NXT, and is he really value for money right now? You probably could answer no. He probably isn't. I think they put Finn Balor on NXT. He was meant to be the draw opposite AEW, right? AEW have the likes of Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley, who are legitimate draws from their time in WWE. There's no doubt about that. I think WWE and NXT thought, if we get Finn Balor back on NXT, he can be our equivalent to the Jericho and Moxley, and he can be the one to kind of pull viewers back to NXT on Wednesday nights, and it just hasn't paid off. It hasn't paid off. Now, I don't think it's all of his fault. I think there have been issues, right? He was meant to go straight into a feud with Johnny Gargano. When he turned heel, Johnny Gargano got injured. He had to transition into Matt Riddle. He was going to have that feud with Volta, which was going to move to NXT TakeOver, UK TakeOver Dublin, and possibly a NXT UK Championship run. All of that was going to be huge for Finn Balor, and then the pandemic happened, and there have been injuries to opponents, all of this sort of stuff, and it's just been a bit unfortunate. But it isn't lost. It isn't lost for Finn Balor yet. And I think that's why he wins the NXT Championship tonight. I think this is the way to elevate him back up, keep the momentum going with him, and finally go, look, you returned last year. Not really a lot positive has happened since then. Maybe it hasn't gone the way we expected. We'll put the belt on you. You're bankable. You're dependable. You are a draw, even though maybe you haven't drawn as much as we thought you would do, opposite AEW. Let's make you important. Let's make you important. You're earning enough money, so let's try and get return on investment here. So that's what I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see Finn Balor win tonight. Do I think it's going to be clean? I think so, because I think Adam Cole won't be in NXT much longer. The only way we're going to see a screwy finish is if Pat McAfee gets involved and they continue the Adam Cole-Pat McAfee feud, but who knows at this point? Who knows? But of course, as always, this is just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts and prediction for tonight's NXT Championship match? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be sure to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys on this channel. If you've enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button too. Really does help us out here on YouTube, go up the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos before. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestling News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today, and I'll speak for you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.